It's time for 2FAST2FILMS with award-winning movie critics Mike Sargent and Jackson Murphy. Gentlemen, start your engine.
It's Valentine's Day weekend, it's President's Day weekend, and it's a new episode of the 2FAST2FILMS podcast with film critics Jackson Murphy and Mike Sargent. Do we love these two new movies we're reviewing? Find out. First up is Judas and the Black Messiah.
Fred Hampton is someone that most people in this country don't know. He was a leader of the Black Panther Party, but more importantly, he started something called the Rainbow Coalition. But while he was trying to unify all the people who were, let's just say, being subjugated by the government, an FBI informant by the name of William O'Neill, who was literally a career thief who was trying to avoid going to jail for life for impersonating an FBI officer, infiltrates and ends up tragically causing, let's just say, the breakdown of the Rainbow Coalition and the wipeout of most of the Black Panther Party. Directed by Shaka King, it's produced by Ryan Coogler, Charles D. King, and Shaka King himself. And I have to say, it's absolutely one of the best films I've seen. And in a time where some of the best films that have come out in the last year are about American history, specifically African-American history in this country, I think this is a must-see.
For me, the performances are the reason to see this movie. Daniel Kaluuya, he's got some big moments. Jesse Plemons has some solid moments as well. And Lakeith Stanfield, who I liked in Sorry to Bother You, I like him in this as well. Thing for me is that we've seen this informant undercover getting close to someone movie before, and I'm interested in how we get to certain places and how we're going to get to certain places, but I'm not surprised by character reactions or certain situations that take place. So I'm not as blown away by Judas and the Black Messiah as I want to be, though I do think Dominique Fishback, who was also in Project Power from earlier this summer, she's a star. She's going to be in some more big movies over the next several years because of her performance in this film.
I do think the power of this is that it is literally a true story, and it is about something much, much more. The FBI informant part, to me, is the least interesting part of this story. What's really interesting is how this character literally becomes a Judas in a time where this other character literally becomes, or at least what the government fears, is a Black Messiah. But the next film that we're going to talk about is also, in many ways, an indictment of the American government. It's a film called The Mauritanian.
It stars Tahar Rahim, who received a Golden Globe nomination for his performance as Mohamedou Ould Slahi. In the early 2000s, held in Guantánamo Bay, he's claiming his innocence. The government thinks he's involved in Al-Qaeda and the 9/11 attacks, but he says, I was not involved at all. Jodie Foster, in an acting career comeback, plays his defense attorney. Shailene Woodley plays her associate. And Benedict Cumberbatch, who may give the strongest performance in this film, plays the prosecutor. It's a strong ensemble cast, and it's a story that weaves a lot in and out. There's connecting themes, and it all really works. It's a very engaging film.
I think it's very engaging, and actually was great to really see Jodie Foster back on the screen. I think this is a powerful story. I think one of the key things about this was the casting of the Mauritanian. They did a great job in casting Tahar Rahim because this character of Slahi had to be very likable. When you meet him, you have to understand the charm he had just as a likable human being and just how dehumanized he was throughout the whole process. I think the film really worked.
Yes, the torture scenes that come late in the movie are so gruesome and shocking, but they put us into that mindset of what was going on. And what's so impressive about what Kevin MacDonald does, the director, is that he makes the film not be too complicated for everyone to follow, which is rare in this 21st century political thriller, crime, true story genre that can make things too complex for even the average moviegoer to sit back and try to watch and take it all in and understand. again, you follow everything, you understand the character motivations. I like the scenes with Zachary Levi and Benedict Cumberbatch. It's like a DC versus Marvel showdown between the two of them. They're good moments. And Zachary Levi very bulked up. A lot of good moments. Jodie Foster's role is a little mellow. Shailene Woodley's role is a little limited, but I like the cast. I like this story. This is a good film, The Mauritanian. I recommend this.
Well, I think I recommend both of these films. I would say they're probably two of the best films you could see so far this year.
Absolutely, and certainly for award season with the nominations these films are getting and probably more on the way, I think you should see these movies. I like The Mauritanian a little more than Judas, but you can see it in theaters. It'll be on VOD and other outlets soon, and Judas and the Black Messiah in theaters and on HBO Max right now.
That was really fast.
Sadly, we've reached the finish line for this episode. Keep up with the show at 2FAST2FILMS.com. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. And follow Jackson and Mike on Twitter and Instagram.